Good evening. Here is the world news from BGI TV Baba Bagede Imo TV. I am Morire Rebila Lawa. First are the major headlines for the world news. Terror alert. Lai Mohammed lied. Nigeria not safer. Uriwa insists. Fuel scarcity will increase palm price to 195 naira in Oyo, Osun, Ipman. Flawed. Buhari FG has abandoned Bayelsa IYC. It's a breaking news. Return Kano to Kenya. Court orders FG. Waec react as fire Gùts Nigerian headquarters. Still on the news, Nigerian police arrest armed herdsmen in Abuja for cutting off arms hand. Another breaking news, many feared dead as two BRT vehicles crash in Lagos. And in foreign story, UK Prime Minister Sunak gives appointment to Nigerian Kemi Badenoch. And in sports, an unfortunate scene which happened earlier today between the Falconet of Nigeria, possibly we say Flamingos, against Colombia in the semi-finals on the ongoing Women's World Cup in India. They lost 6-5 on penalties. Now the news in detail. Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, Uriwa, on Wednesday castigated the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, for labeling the terror alert issued by the United States and United Kingdom as unverified and misleading, warning of possible terrorist attacks in Abuja and parts of the country. While faulting Lai Mohammed, Uriwa stressed that the statistics of terrorist attacks in 2022 alone showed that all the claims by Information Minister and members of Buhari's administration cabinet are falsehoods. A statement by the National Coordinator of Uriwa, Comrade Emmanuel Omubiko, said Lai Mohammed, as Minister of Information, has been churning out untrue propaganda about the security situation in the country under the President Muhammadu Buhari. Uriwa noted that instead of coming up with superior anti-terrorist strategies to forestall imminent attacks on the nation's political capital, the Buhari regime took a defensive position, faulting intelligence of the UK and US embassies in Nigeria and giving false impression that all is well and the country as a whole is well secured. Uriwa said that Lai Mohammed delivered this hovel at the ministerial session of the ongoing UNESCO Media and Information Literacy Week in Abuja, saying that such security alert was unnecessary as it was creating panic in the polity. Mohammed therefore assured that the military and other security agencies have continued to do everything possible to secure and protect Nigerians and foreigners living in Nigeria, adding that terrorists have been had, eat and put on the run while bandits have been decimated and scattered. Commenting on Mohammed's position, Uriwa noted that even the Department of State Services, DSS, and the Nigeria Police Force did not disagree or disregard the terror alert by the UK and US, but urged residents of the Abuja metropolis and Nigerians in general to remain calm. Moving on to the next story as regards Ipman. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Ipman, has said that selling premium motor spirit PMC at 180 naira per litre is no more visible in Oyo and Osun states. Ipman chairman of Ibadan Depot, which covers Oyo and Osun State, Mr. Mutiu Bukola, said this while speaking with Daily Post on Wednesday. A visit by correspondents to some parts of Ibadan on Wednesday confirmed that petroleum stations in Ibadan are currently witnessing long queues. A correspondent learned that the long queues was as a result of the rumor of scarcity of petrol across the country. Ipman has however said that its members would increase the pump prices. It stated that this decision was necessary so as to avoid the long queues in Oyo and Osun. Bukola explained that it is not possible for members of the association to sell at the old price. He said that this is due to the increment in the landing cost and cost of transportation. He said, "We can't buy petroleum in Lagos again. Whatever we see, they are selling for us at the rate of 178 naira without transport. The landing cost is now 195 naira. If we buy at the rate of 178 naira, it will take a minimum of 12 naira to get to Ibadan. If you had 178 naira to 12 naira, you will know how much it will be." Moving on to the next story. The Ijaw Youth Council, IYC Worldwide, has lamented the silence of President Muhammadu Buhari and the federal government to the ongoing flood in Bayelsa states. It's coming as a flood rampage in the Niger Delta region, especially the Bayelsa state. The IYC president, Peter Igbifa, said over 85% of the entire Bayelsa was underwater, with about 100 deaths recorded in the last 2 weeks, and demanded the deployment of presidential fleets to the state to rescue trapped victims and mitigate the damage already done by the flood. Igbifa, in a statement, lamented that Bayelsa state has been cut off from civilization as the flood took over and washed away significant portions of the only road leading to the state, the east-west road at both rivers and delta axis. He said, as we speak, former President Goodluck Jonathan is officially an internally displaced person. His country home has been submerged, and the people of Waec, like other people from different parts of the state, are traumatized. There is no movement of goods and services to the state. Trucks carrying foodstuffs, medicines, and other items can no longer enter Bayelsa. The food available in the state before the flood had been totally consumed. Starvation is staring the people in the face and threatening to wipe them out of existence. From that story, we go to the next one as regards Mazi Nnamdi. A federal high court sitting in Umuahia, the Abia state capital, has ordered the federal government to pay the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, the sum of 500 million naira as damages following his illegal abduction and human rights abuse from Kenya. The court also ordered the federal government to return him to Kenya from where he was extradited to Nigeria on June 19, 2021. The court, presided by Justice E.N. Anyadike, insisted that the extradition of Kanu from Kenya without recourse to the legal process was a flagrant abuse of his fundamental human rights. He held that the respondent failed to disprove the claims of the applicant that he was arrested, blindfolded, tortured, and chained to the ground for 8 days in Kenya before his extradition to Nigeria. Kanu, through his special counsel, Aloy Ejimako, had approached the court challenging his extradition from Kenya on June 19, 2021. Ejimako told the court that the suit is sui generis of a special class and was primarily aimed at redressing the infamous unlawful expulsion or extraordinary rendition of Kanu, which is a clear violation of his fundamental human rights, Article 12, Bracket 4 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, as well as Chapter 5 of the Nigerian Constitution. And to Abuja. There was early morning fire outbreaks at the headquarters of Nigeria's office of the West African Examination Council, Waec, on Wednesday, but the examination body has said the situation is under control. Videos of flames at the Waec headquarters, located in Yaba, Lagos, I beg your pardon for the location, were in circulation early Wednesday morning, with unconfirmed reports suggesting that staffers were trapped in the building. According to sources, some of the workers, and particularly non-academic staff, union members, had resumed when the fire incident was observed. However, no one could ascertain the cause of the outbreak, as everyone reportedly scampered for safety. Reacting to the development in the telephone conversation, the acting head of the Public Affairs Unit of Waec, Moyosola Adeshino, said the situation was under control. Mrs. Adeshino said no one was hurt, that everyone in the building was successfully evacuated by firefighters. Moving on to stories in Abuja. A Fulani herdsman, Gudu Usman, has took off the hand of a farmer in Rimba village, Abuja local government area of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The victim was identified as Kefas Luka. The herdsman was said to have led his cattle to Luka's farm, leading to disagreement between the duo. His men thereafter attacked the farmer and cut off his hand. A police signal obtained by Sahara reporters confirmed the incident, saying the suspect was in detention. The signal reads, Citrep X causing grievous off on the 24th October 2022 at about 10:30 a.m. One past looker came to the Abuja Area Command Headquarters and reported that on October 23rd at about 15:20 hours, Mr. Kefas Leka of Ringbar village in Abuja went to his farm to check his crops. On getting there, he saw cattle inside his farm. When he approached, he saw a Fulani man, one Bagudu Usman. He was trying to take his photograph using his handset as evidence to prove his allegation before the law. Enforcement agency, when the Fulani man was removed his cutlass and cut off his hand completely. The victim had been rushed to Abuja General Hospital and referred to the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital for admission and treatment. Meanwhile, the suspected has been arrested under detention now. Investigation in progress about the information to be released soon. From that story, we go to Lagos State. A yet to be ascertained number of people have been found dead in a crash involving two bus rapid transit vehicles in Lagos State. Sarah reporters gathered that the incident happened around 7 a.m. when the two vehicles had a head collision around K2 bus stop in Demori. An accident occurred involving two red BRT buses, one downfall yellow bus at K2 main bus stop. There are huge fatalities, a source said. Moving on to the foreign story. Nigerian news reports that Sunak reappointed the 42-year-old for the position on Tuesday and as well gave her the role of Equalities Minister. Betnock had wanted to become the next UK Prime Minister, but was disqualified from the race months ago. She had run an excellent campaign and was hailed for her leadership and honest politics, which helped her perform considerably better than anticipated. However, following her disqualification, Sunak secured the highest votes with 118 on a poll, followed by Penny Mordaunt with 92 votes and Foreign Secretary Liz Truss, who received 86 on the fourth ballot. Nigerian news report that Betnock had previously held the position of Equalities Minister during Boris Johnson's premiership. The former software engineer had worked in the banking sector and later as a director of the Spectator magazine before being elected to the London Assembly. She entered the Commons as MP for Saffron Weldon in 2017 and lists her interests as including engineering and technology, social mobility and integration. Moving on to the last story on sports. Colombia beat Nigeria via penalties to seal their spot in the final of the 2022 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in India. The game ended barring after regulation time and that was added for the penalties. Colombia then defeated the West Africans 5-6 to grab their ticket for Sunday's final. For more updates of our broadcast on YouTube, the handle is Babagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to have access to our broadcast. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Bagede Imo_22. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and function, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placement only. Before we go, some major headlines. Terror alert, Lai Mohammed lied, Nigeria not safer, Oriwa insists. Fuel scarcity, we will increase pump price to 195 naira in Oyo, Osun, Ipman. Flawed, Buhari FG has abandoned Bayelsa, IYC cries out. And finally on sport, Colombia defeated Nigeria, book final sport. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rebila Lawal. Good evening.
Oh, na, na, na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI TV. BGI TV, you're one in a million.